Our team consists of Chelsea, a major in human resources, and she has extensive work in human resource co-op studies. Austin Beaver, who has over 2 years of hospitality experience. Sarb, who is passion lies in consulting work, but has extensive work history in guest services. And myself, Matthew Page, who has more than 2 years experience in hotels. So our team is delighted to present this year's case competition and to outline a recruitment campaign that is effective in addressing BC's future labor shortage while staying true to Coast's brand, real people. So I'll just quickly explain our overview for the presentation. We'll first address the challenge, identify target markets, 3 marketing recommendations, messaging and communication channels. Then we'll go over our tactics to make this successful, who's responsible for making these tactics successful, our budget, and success of the campaign. So our challenge is the forecasted labor shortage. However, we've also identified, or 2 other things have also been identified, which is a growing demand for skilled labor, as well as hospitality career awareness is needed. So some of our target markets are Generation Y. So these are people born in the 80s and 90s. They're tech savvy, they value personal connections, and they're more collaborative and team-oriented than other generations. We plan to target these key markets all over BC. Other target market includes Aboriginals and Immigrants. These have been identified as the 2 most untapped labor markets in BC. Aboriginals, their population is expanding double the national rate. Their family and community are vitally important to them, and they hold strong traditional beliefs and values. Immigrants are a very loyal workforce, flexible in mobility, and value cultural integration.
So now we'll talk about our 3 key marketing recommendations for Coast Hotel and Resorts. Our first is to integrate the Coast brand, real people, into recruitment practices, train for hard and soft skills, and create future leaders. So our first key recommendation is a 7-year elevator recruitment strategy, making Coast an employer of choice by 2020. We want to share employee stories, celebrate employees' interest outside of the workforce. We want to encourage Coast executives to invest in their most important asset, their human capital, by creating a quality work life for their employees. Management will be responsible for coordinating these 1 to 2 minute videos, but frontline employees will deliver the message through their personalized stories. Employees can then share their videos with their friends to apply. Employee referrals will be awarded by offering 2 nights stay at the Coast property of their choice. Our second recommendation is to train for hard and soft skills. This will address the growing demand for skilled labor. We want to do this by aligning education and industry. Educational institutes will train soft skills such as practice and theories, but they'll also train hard skills such as technical software skills, such as hotel concepts, which is currently being used at Coast Hotel properties. We'd also like to create a student presence through TIA BC, as that's currently not being utilized. University programs will create awareness about hospitality careers. Educational institutes and industry partners will collaborate to offer curriculum to outline the national occupational standards. We want to offer more co-ops and more research opportunities to students to build linkages between education and industry. Our third recommendation is to create future leaders. We want candidates to show Coast executives why they should hire them. Potential candidates can do this by uploading video resumes, tweeting why they are the best, and showcasing their lifestyle through Instagram. The marketing department will be responsible for implementing this campaign. Candidates will be responsible for delivering a quality product, and HR is responsible for screening and selecting candidates who best fit the position available. We will be able to handpick the best of the best versus receiving hundreds of resumes that aren't tailored to Coast property needs.
Okay, so this obviously has a cost to it. And this massive number on the top isn't as bad as it looks. And I'm going to talk you through it. So that is our grand total for all 18 properties. And when you break that down into every individual property, that's just under $8,000 per property. And since I don't have time to go through all the marketing budgetary items, I'm going to just go through the ones that focus on our initiatives. So obviously creating websites, keeping this up and running, that's going to have a cost associated with it. So we're budgeting in roughly just under $50,000 to get this up and running. And once it's up and running, it's up and running. That's a startup cost. So next year, that doesn't apply to you. So for our second part, for our curriculum development and our in-school use, we're planning to do that through bringing in a professor actually into a Coast hotel and working with a property or an operations manager and working with them. And we're costing that out time to make the papers, curriculum you need to do. We're costing that out just under $20,000 as well. So that's about, if you want the specifics, about $19,750. And that's for all 18 properties. And our Future Leader campaign, we're predicting that'll come in at about $10,000. So just to initiate that, $10,000 every 6 months, not because it's going to be a high-intense program where we're going out, we're marketing all the time. It's going to be high intensity. Okay. So, moving on to our push the button. So to measure success, we're going to go off of our employee referrals. So if we see an increase in employee referrals, we're going to know that we're doing something right. Also, that brings in people that are good with our Coast, with our hotel, with our brand. Number of video views, we're going to use something called Google Analytics, which I'm sure you guys are all aware of. Google Analytics, it's amazing. Tracks who goes where they go, how much they see, where they go, and how much they're involved with the program. We're also going to put in some surveys for our employees that are already working there and people that have just been hired so that we can get feedback from them and see how they like the Coast. We're also going to get feedback from our students and professors in our curriculum program and through the number of educational programs that adopt our curriculum. If they adopt it, it's obviously going to be a good thing. Number of training sessions conducted, enrollment, and social media. Once that goes up, that's going to be success for us as well.
All right, so there we go. Yeah, so the reason you should invest in us is because there are three marketing recommendations. Take a realistic, long-term approach addressing the challenge of labor shortage in 2020. They demonstrate how Coast can create a visibly differentiated organizational culture, both internally and externally. Internally to drive morale and performance, thus maintaining low turnover rate, and externally to create a desired company to work for. Moreover, we're addressing the growing demand for skilled labor through educational programs and training sessions with educational institutions and industry partnerships. Lastly, via our third marketing recommendations, we're connecting with the future leaders, helping Coast recruit the best talent across the board in the coming years. In summary, our recommendations are not only helping Coast be an employer of choice in hospitality, but we're also developing the skills of future leaders and raising the profile of the industry within BC. So yeah, thank you everyone, and we're open for questions.